Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to the 34th edition of the Adam Eisen Show. It has been another amazing week in sports, and you all came to the right place to hear about it, so without further ado, let's go ahead, get into it. I want to start today, the National Basketball Association, free agency, trade deadline, all that sort of stuff has been going on, and we've got a bunch of big names, big contracts, big trades to talk about. First, I want to start with Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, three big names that have been swirling around the news sports world for the last week. The Nets now, for 3 years, have completely mismanaged this Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant situation. And now, we're heading in after 3 years, as their final strokes, they're going to mismanage it again. There are so many things coming out about this situation. We see something new every day. Oh, they want to play here. Oh, this team wants them. Oh, this is the trade package. Oh, Brooklyn wants this. Blah, blah, blah. So many things are coming out. We know there is stuff coming such as Sixers want him, Mavs want Kevin Durant, Sixers want Kevin Durant, blah, blah. They don't. Yesterday, the Sixers and Mavs said, we don't want him. So don't believe all these reports you're seeing out there. There's just simply too much coming out. A lot of it's probably coming from Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving's respected parties trying to create controversy, trying to get themselves moved out of town. And the Nets, as soon as possible, ASAP, need to get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant out of town and get as much as you can for them. It could be Anthony Davis, it could be Tyler Hero, or it could be a few other good players and a few good picks. You don't know. But at the moment, this is not working for Brooklyn, not working for Kevin, not working for Kyrie. If I was the Lakers personally, I would want to bring Kyrie Irving in. I've gone back and forth on this topic now for about 3 weeks. I didn't know if I'd want him, but after sitting, looking at the Lakers team, looking at what they're missing, which is a perimeter shooter, a guy like that, Kyrie Irving is the perfect person to bring in. LeBron is the only guy Kyrie Irving has ever worked good with. Even if he is unreliable, LeBron made him work. Coach K didn't make Kyrie work. Brad Stevens didn't make Kyrie work. Steve Nash didn't make Kyrie work. But LeBron did. Give up Westbrook, give up whatever else, however many picks for Kyrie. He can be all these things. He can be unreliable, a problem in the locker room, not have chemistry, not have a presence, whatever. But he will be better than Russ, which doesn't work in LA. Russ is not what they needed, and it's not what they need now. And LeBron knows how to make anyone work. He brought all those teams to the final years ago, back in 2008 when he was dealing with a bunch of bums. He took them there. LeBron James, if he's able to keep Anthony Davis too, he could take Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving to the finals. And if anyone wants to bet me on that, I'd love to take you up. While it may not make sense, it does make sense to get Russ out of town and reunite LeBron with someone he knows. I also want you guys to think about this. The city of Los Angeles right now, where the Lakers rank. Right now, the Clippers, they work. The Dodgers, they work. The Rams, they also work. The Chargers, oh yeah, they got that flashy quarterback, Justin Herbert. They're going to make the playoffs this year. They work. USC, this past year, has completely changed. Lincoln Riley, and seriously has a chance to work out. Jeannie Buss, the Lakers organization, LeBron James, they have a chance to become the 6th best team in the whole city of Los Angeles. Who, not even to mention, brings in the most money compared to any other city that anyone plays in. LA is a cash farm. We talked about it last week. California brings in more money than anybody else. But now you got these organizations that are also with you in LA. Clippers, Dodgers, Rams, Chargers, USC. The Rams can't afford to be the 6th best organization. They aren't in the mood to be the 6th best organization. The same team that's tied for most NBA championships ever, they're not going to be the 6th best sports team in their city. Forget about it. The Lakers, how I've said in the past, I've said they should get rid of Anthony Davis. However, they do need him for perimeter defending. Without Anthony Davis, if you trade Anthony Davis for Kyrie Irving, you're essentially just opening up another gigantic hole on your roster. And in terms of KD, the Heat and Suns have been two big teams here that I would love to see him go to. I think I'd really like to see Kevin Durant on the Phoenix Suns with Booker and Paul. It'd be great to see. Golden State has also been rumored to be on that list, but I'll tell you guys what, Kevin Durant is not going back to Golden State. I don't think Golden State will pull that trigger, and I will tell you all why inside of 5 minutes, but let me finish up this take first. The last thing I have to say about the Brooklyn Nets, in this screwed up situation that they have managed to put themselves in over the last 3 seasons, is they put the cherry on top with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is the gift that keeps on giving. Because if you all recall, Ben Simmons signed a maximum contract with his rookie team, the Philadelphia 76ers. That's one of the best contracts an NBA player can ever sign, right after his rookie deal, getting a maximum contract. Now, an NBA team is not allowed to have, due to some NBA minuscule rules, is not allowed to have 2 max players off of their rookie deals from their rookie teams. If that makes sense, Ben Simmons is on a rookie deal from his rookie team that's now a max contract. They can't have 2 of those. Now, I thought of it and I wondered why, and this is why. The Brooklyn Nets can't even go ask for 12 players in the league right now, Devin Booker being one of them, because they can't move off of Ben Simmons. No one wants him. They can't take that dead cap hit, and if they go trade for Devin Booker, they'll have 2 players on the same team who are on their rookie max deals, and that's not allowed. So now they're stuck with Ben Simmons, a guy who hardly ever plays, and it's just costing the team more. He's the gift that keeps on giving. He's not allowing 12 of the best players in the league cannot be contacted because of his contract. And that, my friends, is the shithole that the Brooklyn Nets have put themselves into over the last 3 seasons. Take yourself back to 3 years ago with the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks. Everybody, they could be going to the Knicks, and then the Nets ended up swindling them, and everybody was like, the Nets are going to win all these championships. Not one. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant played in less than half of the available games for them to play in. That's just ridiculous to me. Can't happen. And this is going to transition me into my next topic for today, which is NBA mobility among stars. I noticed a trend here about a day ago or so. If you take a look at the last 5 seasons of the NBA, the stars who have been mobile, there's 10 of them. We've got Jimmy Butler. He went Timberwolves 76ers to the Heat. Anthony Davis, New Orleans to LA. KD, Golden State to the Nets. Paul George, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James to the Lakers, Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. Now, among all those big names, who about 7 of them have done multiple team changes, and only 3 of them have changed team once. Among all those 10 names, there's only one title among all of them, and that was LeBron and Anthony Davis, who aren't working great together anymore. All those. There's 1 title, 5 disasters, and 4, it shouldn't be like this. Like Kawhi and Paul George on the Clippers. None of us expected it to be like that, just like the Nets. No one expected it to work out that way. The NBA loves mobility. The NBA loves stars liking their voice, but less people than ever are currently moving in America. We are down to just 8% of people wanting to actively move. 10, 20 years ago, that was around 14%. 5, 10 years ago, that was down to 11%. Now we're down to 8%. People like to get comfortable. People like to have familiarity, build a culture, and have an actual voice somewhere, which can't be accomplished in just 3 to 4 years, 3 to 4 seasons. It happens over 10 years, like Michael, like Kobe, how they did it. But when you look at these teams where players are jumping around, the Clippers, LA, the Nets, Miami, they're not winning championships. But we turn around and we look at the teams who drafted well, developed their players, invested in them, and invested in the coaching staff, and were patient. It paid off. Golden State, Boston, Milwaukee, Phoenix, at least in the last regular season and the postseason before that, it's all homegrown. It's all drafted. It's all developed there. And that's what keeps them on top. That's why Golden State was able to climb that mountain again. They had patience and they developed people. And that's why Golden State doesn't want Kevin Durant back. After 3 years, it was ripping the culture, the development, the patience, the leadership. It was ripping all of that apart for them. Here is the thing about these stars. KD, Kyrie, Paul George, they instantly change the temperature when they walk in the room. It doesn't naturally come there like it is when a player is drafted out of Washington State or Davidson. It just doesn't happen. A player comes in, he learns from Steve Kerr, he buys into the culture, buys into the chemistry, buys into the leadership, and it works because they know what they're doing over in California. I've said it now 3 weeks in a row. Golden State's a world-class organization, and everybody needs to be writing down what they're doing. It's a textbook for how you'd want to run your organization if you were a GM, an owner, a coach, anything. Couple more topics today for the NBA. I want to jump into the Atlanta Hawks a little bit. Not going to talk long about them, but I am extremely happy that Trae Young finally got another superstar around him to help him out. The Hawks put themselves in a position this year to be a contender. Everybody after the playoffs last year was saying the Hawks are just one piece away. They are just one piece. And now, after the trade with the Spurs, the addition of Murray, it might have taken up 4 first rounds and a player, but they needed another superstar to come in. This league now, all these teams, Golden State just won the finals. They've got Steph, they've got Clay, they've got Poole, they've got so many guys. The Hawks needed another guy in order to compete with teams like Boston, teams like Miami, teams like Milwaukee. Simple as that. The NBA has moved to the point of needing 2 stars. Atlanta will now be a real threat in the East this upcoming season, and I'm really excited to see what they do. I think minimum, this could be an Eastern Conference Finals team, which would be awesome to see. Having not seen a good Atlanta Hawks team other than the last 2 years or so with Trae Young, it would be cool to see them come up, see how they do. Last NBA take for today, I want to talk about Zion Williamson re-signing with the New Orleans Pelicans. He signed his max rookie deal like we were just talking about with Ben Simmons. He got a max rookie deal from his rookie team. Made a lot of money. He said his goal is to win a championship with New Orleans. But in my opinion, I think it's obvious. His goal is to get a checkbook. Get a good check. He wouldn't have gone and signed a deal that is going to be worth $240 million if he was all about going to chase a championship. If he were to get injured, Zion Williamson, if he gets injured one more time, we're already at the point where he's overweight and he's injury prone. If he's get injured one more time and he misses just half a season, not even a full season, he will never again be guaranteed a big contract the rest of his career. So personally, Even though the New Orleans Pelicans, the next 4 or 5 years of this deal, they're not going to win an NBA championship. I understand why Zion Williamson took that contract. It's because he sees the writing on the wall with his body. He knows he is one massive knee sprain away from never getting that guaranteed money, never getting that big guaranteed cash. Young guys gotta do stuff like this. Any of them, hell, including Ja Morant, could be out of this league inside of 4 years due to a variety of things. You gotta protect yourself. You gotta get your money. Hope your championships come later. It's a physical game. And Zion, we know he's not in the best of health. So I understand him taking this money. But all you Pelicans fans, don't be happy. There's not a championship coming down to New Orleans for minimum 4 years, and I guarantee you that. Moving on to National Football League today. We're sitting about 55, 60 days away from the official kickoff of the 2022 NFL season. I could not be more excited. This offseason has flown by with plenty of big topics to cover, and I've got 2 more big ones for you right here. You all probably saw Baker Mayfield was traded to the Carolina Panthers. It was an incredibly cheap deal where the Browns got swindled, in my opinion. The Browns, I said it last week, they need a quarterback. They should not have gotten rid of Baker and now are dealing with a roster that is ranked 6th in PFF, but again is not going to make the playoffs. They traded Baker for a 2024 5th-round draft pick. They also are covering $10.8 million of Baker's contracted salary. This is going to be great for Baker, but terrible for the Browns. And you're turning to Jacoby Brissett. And we'll get to the Browns, but I want to say first why I think this is great for Baker. Baker now has an offensive coach in Matt Rule, which, as we know, is where the game is headed. The AFC has so many great young QBs, Burrow, Mahomes, Herbert, Baker. There's so many, and Baker just does not feel in that class. In the NFC, however, when we look at young, great quarterbacks, there's not really one. The best guy up is Jalen Hurts. Brady and Rodgers are out of the league. Brady's out of the league in a year. Rodgers could be out in a year, 2-3 max. Stafford's getting on the older side. Young quarterbacks, Baker has the chance to take over. Not a great chance, but he does have a chance. The NFC is wide open when it comes to long-term quarterback play. The AFC, they've got Watson, they've got Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, Carr, Herbert, Wilson. Baker just feels second tier there, and it doesn't feel that way over in the NFC. It is a bad division he is going to go to, and in 1 year, it could be the worst division in football if Brady retires. Carolina is getting him for nothing. Browns have to pay $10.5 million of this contract. Carolina has got to get an offensive line fixed to make him work. But there's way worse fits than Carolina. At least they've got Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey. They've got these guys that Baker will be able to distribute the ball over top to. Christian McCaffrey will be able to take some of the pressure off of them. And if CMC stays healthy, this team, Vegas had their over-under wins set at 6.5 before this Baker Mayfield trade. Now, I would bet the over because of that, and I would bet it confidently. When Brady leaves, Baker could be the best QB in this division. The Panthers need to move Sam Darnold out of town, which I feel awful for Sam Darnold. He's a guy who got thrusted in to a starting job his rookie year, shouldn't have, with the New York Jets, with just guys that should not have been coaching him. Adam Gase shouldn't have been coaching him. And now he's getting team swapped, kind of like what happened to Josh Rosen, just getting team swapped, never really getting a good chance, or never really being able to give up a competition, being able to have a competition with somebody. But they need to move Sam Darnold either way. They're paying Baker more. Baker has more upside. Baker has the tools to succeed. We know he does. The bad news here for Baker is, according to PFF, the Browns roster was rated 6th in the NFL this season. The Panthers are rated 27th, and that's in a weak division. So as of now, they are not a well-constructed roster. But this move a few years from now, when the Rodgers, Brady, Stafford are all out of the league, and Baker is one of the only good young QBs in the NFC that's been developing for years, could work out to be very nice for him. Like I said, the over-under on wins before this trade for Carolina was 6.5. And now, after, I would definitely bet the over, which I think is a good news and a good day for the Carolina Panthers. Talking about the Browns side of things here for a second. The Cleveland Browns now do not have a quarterback for this season. Week 1, they're going to be playing Baker Mayfield. The Browns, they play Carolina week 1. They're going to be paying Baker Mayfield $588,000 to try and beat them. Not to mention they're going to be starting Jacoby Brissett. No hate on Jacoby Brissett, but come on, guys. Baker Mayfield is better than Jacoby Brissett unless I'm crazy, and I'm not crazy. Paying Baker, Deshaun, and Jacoby Brissett, they are paying them nearly $60 million just for 2 of them not to even play this season. The Browns, as I've mentioned twice now, they have the 6th ranked PFF team. Top 3 defense. Top 3 run game. And just like I predicted months ago, they have screwed the pooch yet again. The Browns need to go take a chapter out of the Golden State How to Run an Organization booklet. Because they don't know. They've been screwing it up for 60 years since Jim Brown. They don't know what they're doing. And things need to change in Cleveland. They've been on the cusp for so long. And they're not, I don't know what to say to it anymore. I wish Baker would have worked out. Back when Baker was drafted, I believe it was 2016, I was the biggest fan. I thought this guy was for sure going to work and was going to be the one to take Cleveland to the promised land. So I'm upset that he wasn't the one to do that. And I wish Baker the best. I wish the Browns were the best. But I think Baker, at the end of the day, has the better chance at coming out on top of all this than the Browns do. Going into my last NFL topic for today, the 49ers, I think, are flipping back to Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy Garoppolo. They're flipping back. This has been ever since the NFC Championship game where they had a 10-point lead in SoFi Stadium leading to the fourth quarter. This has been a big talking point. Are they going to get off Jimmy G? Are they going to go to Trey Lance? What's going to happen? And the 49ers right now are purely worried because they have a team that can win right now. The NFC Championship last year, they were in the NFC Championship last year. 2 years ago, they went to the Super Bowl. George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, they get hurt a lot. You don't know how much longer you have these guys for. Jimmy G, he may not be perfect, but he does do a few things great, which is leading, throwing a fast ball, throwing a strong ball, and throwing an accurate one into a tight spot. Again, time again, we have seen Trey Lance practice now for over a year. They would know if he is good enough to take this team somewhere, good enough to get this team to the wild card round. They don't think he's good enough. The 49ers organization doesn't want to lose a season with as talented as a roster as they have. Not every QB can be an elite closer. It's a 53-man squad. There are always ways to win Super Bowls without Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. Hell, look at Joe Flacco. You just got to string together a couple good games and be able to have your defense have your back when it matters most. There are just so many reports that Trey Lance is not accurate, gets arm fatigue, and that they are trying to change his entire throwing motion because they went and drafted this guy 3rd overall. Minus Josh Allen, we have never, ever seen somebody become magically accurate before. You can't coach accuracy. It comes from nonstop reps. They had this Trey Lance package last year, and we had talked about it. The little red playbook Kyle Shanahan had ready to pull out with 6 weeks left in the season. And then all of a sudden, it all went away. Lance wasn't the guy. Something had to happen. That playbook never came to light. When you have a top 10 overall roster and aren't named Cleveland, you gotta try and compete. You gotta put the best quarterback out there for you. And right now, Jimmy G is the best quarterback for the job for the San Francisco 49ers. It's plain and simple. The last topic I want to talk about, just gonna be a brief minute. It's a segment, I was thinking about it the other day with one of my roommates. We were talking about it. We were talking about Tiger Woods. We're talking about Peyton Manning, Archie Manning, Eli Manning, Cooper Manning, LeBron James. These guys that we have grown up with. I'm saying this because I want everyone that listens to this show to realize what we are about to witness in the next 10 to 15 years. Over the last 10 to 20 years, we've seen Tiger Woods come. He's inspired us. He's gone through great controversy. He's been humbled, and he's come back and won again. We've been bonded to him, and we love him. Peyton and Eli Manning, we've watched them both go win Super Bowls. We watched Eli Manning take down Tom Brady when he was undefeated. We watched these guys. We watched their dad, Archie Manning, play for the Saints. May have not won Super Bowls, but broke records. Then you have LeBron James, who has come in, who through all 20 years of this league has never had a serious scandal, has had the spotlight on him since 17 years old, never been caught cheating on his wife, anything, and has given millions and millions back to city of Akron and other cities, children, things like that. These guys, the Mannings, the Woods, and the James, those families, we are about to have a next generation of kids coming up. Arch Manning, as you all know, he committed to Texas. We got Bronny and Bryce James, which really what made me think of this. I saw a picture of Bryce James, which is LeBron's younger child. He's 15 right now. Bryce James went MIA for like 6 months. Came back, is almost as big as his dad. His shoulders went like this, just like his brother did a few years ago. And he can fully dunk, looks like a completely different basketball player. It's wild. Then you have Charlie Woods, who could play golf again. And if Charlie Woods ever made the PGA Tour or anything of that nature, everyone would agree no one would be able to take their eyes off of it. It would be nothing short of amazing. What we are seeing, and this is my whole point here, I want everybody to realize how lucky we are getting right now. The greats we grew up watching, Peyton and Eli, Archie, LeBron, Tiger, we're seeing more chapters. We are going to get to see more chapters in all of their books because of these kids. And then their kids are going to go write their own books, their own legacies, with that same last name that will bring back all those same memories from years ago of their fathers and of their grandfathers. Appreciate what is happening. That is why sports is amazing. Brings people together, breaks people down, it gives people hope, and you get to see great things like this where people come together, family, and you see beautiful storylines such as this, where we could see Arch Manning playing in the NFL, Bronny, Bryce, Tiger, Charlie. It's just an awesome storyline to watch unfold. That's all I wanted to say there. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another edition of The Adam Eisen Show. I'll be back here soon to bring you all episode 35. It's going to be a big one, but until then, peace.